Hey there, everybody. It's Bill with Franklin Loan Center, and it's Wednesday. Wednesday, March 10th. I just cannot believe it's already March. I was just talking to my wife yesterday, and she's like, "Wasn't it just Christmas?" So yeah, it's flying by. Hey, and this is all thanks to Barry Habib and MBS Highway. That's a system that I use to try and make sense of what's happening with interest rates. It's been a tough couple of weeks here with rates kind of running in the wrong direction here, maybe 3 weeks now. And he put on some really great insight this week that I think is really important, particularly for those of you in real estate. So, one of the main things moving rates up right now is the fear of inflation. So, inflation is the arch enemy of interest rates, right? Because interest rates are backed by bonds, and when people are hungry and they want to buy a bunch of bonds, that's good for interest rates because a bunch of people buying bonds drives the yield down. Yield equals rate, right? So, but then who wants a fixed bond for 30 years if inflation is going up? Because then if you have a fixed yield and prices are going up, it actually deteriorates your investment. So sorry to get a little geeky, but that's generally how it works. So just keeping a very close watch on inflation for the direction of rates, right? And then what MBS Highway pointed out this week is that there's some really rough comps coming our way, right? So we're coming into that. All of our year over year figures are starting to marry up to when the entire country was like completely shut down, and we had some really low, like negative inflation numbers for a couple of months there. March, April, kind of May were all like these months where it was really low. So when you think about a monthly or an annual, that what they do is they do a rolling average, right? And so how do they get to that annual figure? It's just a rolling average. And when they take that average and they bump out a couple of negative comps and then they bring in a couple of modest, yes, they're up, they're comps with a positive inflation, but it's not crazy inflation. It's still in pretty good check. It's within what the feds want to see, but it's knocking off a couple of these negative numbers. So it throws the numbers off. So we're going to see a couple of months here, probably starting maybe not next month, but in May, where these comps are going to look really bad. They're expecting to see inflation running at like 2.5. The Fed rate is 2%, or the Fed target is 2%. That could be rough on rates. So we're going to come into a window of time here where for your buyers out there, get them to lock their rate right away. Take the rate they're getting and get it locked, right? Don't wait around. We could see some uptick, and every day is different, right? But this is the prediction from the smartest guy I know in bonds. I don't know him, but I follow him. And so anyway, just keeping an eye on that, and then but those comps are going to then start to wear out, and then we're going to get back into some modest positive numbers, and that number is going to come down, and they expect that to help interest rates. So, and that's probably the Q3 late into Q3 kind of Q4. So we'll see what happens. Check me. Someone please pull this up in 3 to 6 months and tell me how I did, or tell me how Barry did. But that's what I'm looking at, and I just think it's worth putting out there. But certainly for the near term, I think it's a really good idea. I mean, talk to your loan officer, but it's a really good idea. In my opinion, get yourself locked. Don't play these games because anything that looks like inflation is on the rise. It's going to be scary. So that's all I have for you this week. I know I got a little geeky. Sorry about that. See y'all next week.